Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Jake, and if you have been listening to some of our previous episodes, you probably know what Mac is busy with. He is trying to figure out how to have a floor in his kitchen this week. But we wanted to sit down here and do a preview of the next amateur tournament we have coming up. So welcome to the show again, Caleb Baccus. We've had you a number of times, but I guess we'll keep having you around. How you doing, Caleb?
I'm doing all right, man. It's been a pretty good time.
And welcome to the show for the first time. We have Tom Zabel, Mr. Sumo himself, the guy who wrote the book. How's it going, Tom?
All right. I have been on here one time before, I think.
Yeah, when did we have you?
It's been probably a couple of years, but
yeah.
We did an hour or so, I think, one time.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked because we've done enough episodes recently that I have certainly lost track. Oh man. But regardless, we wanted to have you guys on. We are looking at the next tournament, the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament. So is this is the second one that you guys have done?
Yes.
Of this concept? Yeah, excellent. But this is hosted by Mighty Eagle Sumo, which Tom, you tell us how Mighty Eagle Sumo came about.
Well, back in about 2004 time frame, actually I think it was a little earlier than that, maybe 2002. Lonestar Sumo got started by John Hidalgo. He was from the Round Rock, Austin area, and Bart Harris in Houston. I came back to the States, got with them around 2004, and we were doing kind of Lonestar Sumo and just kind of keeping that pretty much as the main organization, and just had different clubs around Texas. We had Houston, of course, Round Rock, Austin. We had a couple times we've had different clubs up in the Dallas area, and then of course here in San Antonio. So now that we're growing with Justin in Austin, and we got Nick over in Houston, and then Corey up in Dallas. With all those clubs growing, we kind of decided to each of our clubs have a different name, and so we came up with Mighty Eagle for the San Antonio group. Probably the last 3 years or so, and just been going with that.
I gotcha. Moving more towards club identity. I mean, you guys are still all close. You still like train together occasionally and stuff like that, but just going for like more individual identity among the clubs.
Correct.
I gotcha. Very cool. So yeah, in my last couple of years of following amateur sumo, I was just going back through my records, and it seems like almost like every other tournament that I have in my records is in San Antonio. You guys have been hosting tournaments for a long time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the other one I wanted to ask about, the Texas Classic, because that one's been going for a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, probably since around 2007, 2008, maybe. We've had at least 2 tournaments a year. Mm-hmm. One in the fall usually, and one in the spring. So the Texas Classic I think is year 17 or 18, something like that.
I think that's right. The bracket that I got is from the 15th, and that was 2021. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this year would be like the 17th year of it. I'm guessing that's nuts. Yeah. But so yeah, you guys have also. Sorry, go ahead.
I think Houston is going to take over the Texas Classic.
Oh, cool.
They
Okay.
may change it to the Houston Classic or something else, but they'll have the Classic moniker to their tournament.
Keep that
Keep that.
lineage going. Yeah.
Hate to lose all those years and have to start over again, but
Yeah. Another one that I've seen you guys host the last couple of years is the Wins tournament. Caleb, why don't you tell me about that one? I know that's kind of been one of the things that you like to focus on, is expanding into like youth sumo, women's sumo, things like that.
Yeah, the Wins tournament started in Austin originally, but last year they're having a hard time finding a location. So Tom was like, "Well, I have this place. I get this place." So we had it thrown in San Antonio. We're not sure if we're going to have it this year or not. We're working on some things. The problem is it happens in March, usually.
Okay.
And as you know,
March is a little busy.
So no one's going to come out for that this year. So we're not sure if the date's going to get moved or anything. That's up in the air. It will be back at some point. It's just maybe not this year.
Yeah. March has nationals on the 11th, and then also the Kuma Bash on the 25th. That's yeah. Are you guys sending any youth wrestlers up that way?
I hope so, but I have no idea yet.
Yeah, it's still like 2.5 months out, which in amateur sumo time is like years, right?
Yes.
Oh well. But yeah, so the concept of the Mighty Eagle team tournament, that I've found that to be like just really cool. I watched last year's tournament. I do have the results in front of me here. So that was in October of 2021. Was that that's right, because you had the Met in 2021, and then the Wins in 2022. You were, or excuse me, the Texas Classic were the ones you were kind of looking at switching off, right?
We had Texas Classic at the beginning of 2021, and then we did the Met later that year.
Oh, okay.
And then last year we did Texas Classic, and then we did the Wins. But we really been wanting to go back to the Met because it's a really cool concept. Because Tom would tell me about him wrestling in Japan when he was back in the Air Force and stationed over there, and tell me how the tournaments went. I'd go up there and there'd be a team tournament, and then there'd be an open tournament afterwards. In my brain, I was like, "Oh, that's just like Himamara Sumo. That's really cool."
Yeah, right.
And I told him one day, "He's like, hey, why don't we just do that? That's no one else is doing it. Why don't we try something like that?" And then it'd be like our thing. And he came back like the next week and it was like, "Yeah, I like that. We're gonna figure this out." And the first one I thought was pretty good. I thought the first one was really fun and entertaining. People showed up for it.
Yeah, Tom, why don't you walk us through like what's the basics? How does that tournament work? Like what's the schedule of it, I guess, and how people team up?
So we try and do it club oriented as much as possible. If you can come in with a team consists of 3 individuals. So if you can come in with at least 3 from your club, and kind of make it a more of a club rivalry type of thing if possible. But if there are some singles, or even you can wrestle with 2. So if you want to keep it a complete club tournament or a team, and you don't have 3 people, you can do it with 2. But if you got 2, or even as a single, we'll pair you up with somebody, and make a team. And again, we maybe try and do it regionally that way. But the biggest thing is, probably the biggest rule is for 3 big guys, 3 heavyweights cannot be on a team.
Sure, got to spread that around a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. So, but other than that, just regular rules. And that's the way that they did it in Texas. It was mainly we would travel around the local area to different towns during their festival times, and of course, each town would host their tournament, and it would be one town against another town versus another. We'd have anywhere from 4 to maybe 12 different towns represented. and that would be the main thing. It was the team tournament, the rivalries between all the local townships.
Sure.
And then they did an open weight. Of course, they didn't have any other divisions in Japan anyway, but it was just a big open. So, yeah, talking to Caleb about that, and we thought it would be good to kind of maybe get that started here in the U.S.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I loved watching it. It took me when I was watching it, it was after the fact. I wasn't able to watch it live. So I was trying to catch up and follow the format, but the format when you got a team of 3, correct me if I'm wrong, but you keep the order the same throughout the day, right? You have your guy who will go into the first match every time you go against another team, your guy in the second, and then your guy in the third match, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no switching it up. And there's different strategies to that. You can have your best guy going first, or last. It just kind of depends how you want to strategize. So yeah, it's still going to be kind of an open weight type of thing where a lightweight is going up against a heavyweight, depending on how they're positioned in their lineup. So
right. Yeah, so if you got 3 guys per team, that means you got team of 3 versus a team of 3. So your 1s will go against each other, then your 2s, then your 3s, and then whichever team wins at least 2 out of 3 is the winner of that match, right?
correct.
Yeah, I gotcha. So let me just bring this up real quick. So last year's tournament, first Mighty Eagle team. Excuse me, I keep saying last year. I'm not used to 2023 yet. It always takes at least January, sometimes February, for me to get that straight. But the 2021 tournament happened in October. And let's see, the teams that I got, in first place, you had Sean Jackson, Jonathan Flowers, and Khalil Collins. So Sean is a guy, I haven't seen him wrestle all that often recently, but he's a real big guy from Vegas, right? Is that where he comes from?
That's where he is now. He used to be from the Philadelphia area.
Ah, cool. Okay.
But yeah, he's one of those people like Tom was saying that if you show up, we'll try to find you a team.
Sure.
Dallas had 5 people. The Dallas Sumo Club had a team of 3 and then a team of 2, and he just jumped in with the team of 2 and wrestled with them.
Right. Yeah, because Jonathan and Khalil, those guys are Dallas guys. But yeah, that was a obviously pretty strong team. They took gold. It looks like the Dark Circle team took silver. That was Sam Kempka, Justin Kizzert, and Alex Hearn.
And Sam said he's coming back for this next one.
I was gonna ask. Yeah, I haven't seen him around for a bit, but every time I've seen him, he sure shows up.
I saw him Sunday. He's supposed to be back.
Awesome. That's good to hear. Former Texas State champion, if I recall, right?
2020? Yes, 2020.
20, I think.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then we had the Mighty Eagle team got the bronze. I don't know. Anybody important on that team, Caleb?
There was Casey Baccus. He was incredible with his colorful pants. Sadly, he will not be back for this one. But I'm gonna miss him not coming back.
Yeah. I forgot about those pants. Those pants were like one of the highlights of watching that. It was like, what? Where do you even find pants that loud?
That's just part of who he is. Yeah,
you can buy anything on the internet.
But yeah, so that was Casey, some guy named Caleb Baccus, I think is how it's pronounced, on that team. And then Gerardo. That's another name I haven't seen around since then. But is he somebody that still trains with you guys, or somebody giving it a shot?
He was from Chicago, and he wanted to just give it a shot.
Ah, okay, I gotcha.
He asked if he came down, so he came down like earlier in the week and went to our Keiko practice that Tuesday, and said, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." And then he did the tournament, and then like left before the tournament was even over. He was just gone.
Huh. In and out. I guess I got my medal. I'm good. I'm done.
Well, yeah, that first tournament we had 6 teams. We had a full Florida team, a full Austin team. There was another Austin and Houston team, and then Dallas and Vegas hooked up for that first place.
Uh-huh.
And Dallas and the guy from Georgia.
Yeah, here's what I had on here for the other teams. The other Dallas team was Coach Corey Morrison along with 2022 Texas State champion Jared Tadlock, and Jonathan Mai out of Dallas. Florida team, we had Cornelius Booker, Brandon McLeod, and Dustin Hawkins. And then the other Dark Circle team, Ben Marquez, Chad New, and Paul Gutierrez Paul's out of Houston, I believe, if I remember right.
Paul's out of Houston, yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a really fun tournament to watch once I figured out what the heck was going on and how that worked. But yeah, I love the team format. But yeah, you mentioned there was also are you planning to do it similar where you also had the open weight division afterwards for whoever wants in on that?
Yeah, we had almost everybody join for that one at 2021, which I believe was won by Cornelius. I think that's that one. And Ben Marquez, that's when he broke out finally. I don't know, that was when he broke out finally, because he hadn't been doing that great, and then suddenly he beat in succession his coach Justin Kizzard, and then me after that, and then he beat Sean. So it was like really impressive.
Yeah, I got to admit, one of my favorite moments in all of the amateur sumo that I've seen was Sean looked unbeatable that day in the team part of it. And then Ben was also doing great throughout the day, but when those two met each other in like the silver versus bronze matchup, and it was just a hell of a match, and like, you know how Justin cheering on his guy and like jumping around the ring, like freaking out and stuff, and then when Ben beat him, like all the Dark Circle guys just exploded. That was so cool. That was a great moment. And props to Sean, because like he looked unbeatable that day, like I said, but yeah, he gave Ben his due when he got beat fair and square there. But yeah, that was a really fun tournament to watch, and that one is on YouTube, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. That is on the Lonestar Sumo channel.
That's correct.
Where you can find a whole bunch of your tournaments. But
yeah, I have a playlist on Lonestar Sumo of all the amateur American sumo going back to I believe the first one I was at was 2019, the Lonestar Sumo. So like from there on, I just keep all the tournaments on a playlist.
That's an awesome idea.
Check it out.
But yeah, so what can you tell us about this year's tournament that's coming up? I know we still have a couple weeks out, so I know there's still some stuff in flux, but basics, you're keeping the basic format. You got the teams and you got the open weight, but yeah, what else we got on the docket here?
We to help with people like you who was having a hard time following it, I'm gonna try to get Zekin, like cheap Zekins made of different colors that people can wear on their mawashi, so that you can tell, okay, this is the red team, and this is the blue team, and this is the black team, and this is the green team.
That's an awesome idea.
So that online it's gonna be easier to see them. The other thing is we have 4 juniors right now. I'm trying to find more. It's not easy, but the 3 from San Antonio are supposed to be there, and then 1 from Tennessee, your rival Ben, is supposed to be there as well to have a junior open weight. I really would like to find more. It'd be great if we had enough juniors to do a team tournament too. That would be awesome, but we gotta find them first.
Yeah. I mean, that's 4 more than there were last year and the year before that, right? So
yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's cool. I guess I hadn't heard that my rival was going down to Texas again.
Yeah. Also, because you mentioned it, what we try to do is we crown the last year's Texas State champions there at the first tournament in Texas, which is usually our tournament in San Antonio, because we usually do it in February. So that will be crowned at the beginning of the tournament as well. They will be crowned. Yeah,
we already mentioned Jared Tadlock out of Dallas is our men's champion. Who we got for our women's champion?
Nicole Burgess from San Antonio.
That's right. Yeah, Nicole was I think Nicole made it to every single one of the Texas tournaments last year, didn't she?
She did. She made it to every single one.
That's really cool. Oh well, but yeah, so that is on February 11th in San Antonio. What's the best place for people to go to find information on it and get signed up and all that?
MightyEagleSumo.com is the easiest place to find. You can just go to the Met page on that one, and there's a registration form for people who want to register.
I guess.
70. If you sign up as a team, 3 people, it's $75 for the 3 people, like for the team. If you sign up by yourself as an individual, it's $30.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
Saving $5 a person if you bring a team along. That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. Yeah, just keep encouraging that a little bit.
So I think we got some new medals this year too.
Oh yeah, that's correct.
The new, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh, there we go. We're getting there.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I could probably take
that white is reflecting really well.
Yeah, there we go.
They're very reflective, is what you're telling us. Yeah.
So some nice medals. We just got these last year, but these will be the new medals that we're handing out. And then we've got a new state champion big trophy with everybody's name on it. We'll have that available to look at and see past champions for Texas. Being that we started that, we had the league since about 2003.
Yeah, because the first year you named champions were 2004. Because I had that list on the My Eagle Sumo thing.
I gotcha. Right.
So yeah, we're keeping track of that and getting that Texas League all started up with. I think actually this next year we're going to have 5 qualifying tournaments instead of the 4 that we had last year. We're adding 1 more this year for one of the qualifiers. So
that's the Rollertown Brewery tournament in Dallas.
Oh, very cool. Okay. Yeah, that's Rollertown. Every time people bring that up, I like to mention that's one of my favorite anecdotes about Texas Sumo isn't the last time that you did an event there? Isn't that where like 2 brothers that just drinking beer at the bar were like, I guess I'll try it, and now they're Rick and Bubba at Dallas. They're like two of the regular guys. That's
true. That's why we have events. People to show up, and then hopefully some of them stick around.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, what so that means if I remember right from last year, you guys will have the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament, I guess would be instead of the Texas Classic for the first one.
Yeah.
And there's the Cowboy Cup in Dallas, or planning to do something similar to that again this year?
Yes, but it's going to be I believe it's not FitCon this year. It's going to be something called the Fit USA, I believe is what it was called.
Okay.
That's well, I'm not sure. I think that one's still pending. But it's going to happen somehow. He's going to make it. You know, Corey, he will make it work somehow.
I know Corey. He'll make it happen, right? Then we got the Consulates Cup, the Dark Circle one in Austin.
That's September 3rd, Labor Day weekend.
Oh, sweet. That one's already nailed down. Excellent.
Yep.
And then last tournament of the year last year was the Houston Open.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then the 5th one would be the new roller derby one that you guys are talking about?
Yes.
Very cool.
I have dates for at some point. I will have them up on the My Eagle Sumo thing sometime this month. All the dates that we can get, except for Houston. I think that one, because it's much further away, that one's gonna not have an exact date for a little while. But
I gotcha.
Everything else will have an exact date before the end of the month, probably.
What is as long as we're on the topic of like the Texas League, the Texas I love how you guys call it Texas Ichiman on social media as well. I think that's really cool. Tom, what's the basics? How the Texas state champions determined?
So you get 5 points for participating in a tournament, and then you get a point for each win that you get. And then depending on how you place in the tournament, you'll get well, we've been doing it 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third. But I think we might maybe go down to 4 or 5 places this year, and adjust those points. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 type of thing. Maybe we'll figure it out before we get started. But yeah.
Yeah, I suppose you can't really change it midway, but
Right.
yeah.
The only exception to that one is the team tournament. You get points for your wins. Like if you win a match, you get a point, but you don't get it for like the placing because it's a team match. So you don't get
Oh, I
points
suppose.
getting
Okay.
first or second. You do in the open, obviously, but in the team thing, we don't get points for the first, second, third place. Just for whatever wins you get during the team matches.
That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, and the other thing about the team tournament that makes it a little bit different from the other ones is like you're gonna get all those matches, right? Like as you're gonna get as many matches as there are teams to go up against, right?
That is correct.
Yeah, so that's another thing I think is kind of cool. You're kind of guaranteed a good number of matches when you got like a team round robin kind of thing going on like that.
I think that's why a lot of people like Tom's tournaments, is because he tries to do that as much as possible. And if you're traveling and spending money to enter a tournament, it's nice to have more than just like 2 matches and then you're done.
Yeah, sure.
If you have a bad start, you want to have as many matches as possible.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of people like Tom's tournaments.
Sometimes you got to kind of play it by ear based on how many people show up, I bet, right?
There is a point where you're like, unless we want to be here all day. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I one other thing I wanted to bring up on the team tournament before we go is this is something Tom, you gave me a bunch of old data on like national tournaments. Really appreciate that. That's been fun to comb through, and I'm looking at compiling that into something I can like, share more. But
Right.
I thought it was so cool. I'm going back and like once I'm past like 2-3 years old, there's team tournaments every year. Like, was that just something you guys were doing to like make sure everybody got their money's worth for traveling, or what's how come there were always team tournaments in the past?
Well, people just, it was more of a almost like a pickup type of thing. People are, let's go ahead and form teams and wrestle. One, there was, we were probably only have about 30, 35 wrestlers, so we had extra time. Now we've got 60 plus, so there just isn't enough time to get all that stuff in there, because we used to have masters too, an over 40 type of thing. There's not many of us left doing that, but that was something we did too. And now of course we got more women also, so that makes the tournament a little bit longer. So a lot of it is just having enough time to fit all of that in.
I gotcha. Okay.
And I think they're trying to do that for this year. They're talking about it because we don't have a time limit for the venue this year, so I think they may try and fit some more of that stuff in there. Every once in a while, if we had a lot of newbies, we'd do a rookie class, type of thing. Some of those were just kind of extra stuff that we threw together at the last minute. But yeah, that's always fun doing a team tournament if you can. You try and get those rivalries between states or regions and stuff like that. So yeah.
I did notice that the Masters division 40 was generally where you guys would cut that off.
Yeah.
Don't think you were getting out of that one, Caleb. I was just gonna joke that you said there weren't many of you left, but you're getting new recruits like Caleb there that crossing that threshold.
Just so we cross that pretty soon too.
They used to do 40 to 49 and 50 to 59 and over 60 and over, but that was mainly because of the couple people that were running it wanted to get some recognition, so they made those extra little categories. But
I that sounds like how I have established myself as the 32 to 34-year-old Greater Iowa lightweight champion, like that. A gold medal and everything. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. Well, yes. So why don't we wrap up here? But go check out the Mighty Eagle website. if you want to get signed up. That is mightyeaglesumo.com. And make sure to check out the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament on February 11th. Where can we find that streaming, Caleb?
Not totally sure. More likely it's going to be on Mighty Eagle Sumo at YouTube. Is more likely where it's going to be. I will definitely make a post when we have that completely sold out. But
Sure.
that's more likely where it's going to be.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the hazard when we record these, like a couple weeks ahead. You know, like 3 weeks ahead. You want to give people time if they want to travel, but like it's sumo, so like there's still stuff up in the air, right?
Yeah, we're changing a lot of stuff on the fly here at the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
So we're a little up in the air ourselves. It's going to be a great tournament anyway. We're going to have a lot of great matches. It's going to be a lot of fun. Trust us on that.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Caleb, for joining us. Thank you again, Tom, for allegedly the second time you've been on our show. But yeah, no, good luck at the tournament. I'll certainly be watching. I wish I could travel for this one, but will I see both of you guys out at Nationals as well next month?
Yep. In March, yeah.
I am not totally sure.
2 months. Got it.
Yeah, 2 months. Yep.
Oh, well. Well, I hope to see you there too, Caleb. But no, it's been great talking to you guys. Why don't we call it there? Again, make sure to check out the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament. More info at mightyeaglesumo.com. Thanks again for joining us, and you guys have a good night.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
and keep moving forward.